400 Days is the story of a missing child and her mother Alia search to find that child through Detective KESHAV. And it is my biggest hit so far. I think people have really connected to the story. I think it could be because I wrote this story in the lockdown. I didn't have any distractions, any events, any parties, any functions to go to. I was not traveling, and I think the kind of focus I gave to this book really brought out a really good book, which is a great mystery story, at the same time a great love story, and I'm so happy that people have loved it. Keshav is the detective in 3 of my books now. It's the only character I've repeated in my books: The Girl in Room 105, One Arranged Murder, and now 400 Days. Keshav is there along with his friend Saurabh, who solve the cases. It's not exactly, these books are not exactly sequels, but you can say they are like a series, not very different from, say, a Sherlock Holmes, where the same characters but a different story each time. I wanted to make a detective which is very Indian. So Keshav is somebody who is an engineer. He initially, in this first book, he started off teaching at a coaching center. His career is not going great. In this book, he's preparing for an IPS exams. His parents are not very happy with him. He's not getting married. So I wanted to bring a detective which is very Indian, so it's very relatable to the Indian reader. Also, Keshav is not a professional detective. He's not somebody with power. He's not a police officer or anything. Neither is he a trained detective. He's just someone smart and who doesn't give up that easily and keeps on trying, and that's how he solves cases. So I think that amateur detective who is relatable really works for Keshav, and that's why I've been able to repeat him 3 times, and there is a legit fan club of Keshav Rajpurohit which might even be bigger than that of Chetan Bhagat actually. So Keshav is loved not only because he has very good detective skills and yeah, he's supposed to be good looking and has a good body, but I think mainly Keshav is loved because he is very passionate about whatever he does. When he's solving a case, he's super passionate, he never gives up, and when he's in love, he is super passionate and doesn't give up on it that easily, but at the same time, he will finally do the right thing. I don't want to give spoilers, but you know, he has this sense, he is flawed, he's deeply flawed when it comes to his relationships, but there is still a moral compass somewhere that in the end he will do the right thing. And I think such people who are a little bit grey, Keshav is not a white character, he's my hero, but he definitely has problems, but still somebody who at least tries to not give up and tries to do the right thing. I think that is something which everybody can relate to because we are all like that, and that's why he is so loved. 400 Days was a really difficult book for me to write, even though I have had so much experience. This is my 10th book. I'm almost been writing for 18-20 years now, and it is a book I could take on only after so many years of experience, because even though when you read the book it's super simple, it's very difficult in terms of the emotions it deals with. Firstly, a missing daughter, and Alia's character, which is very predominant in the book. She's almost like another protagonist as much as Keshav, if not more. I think to get into the shoes of a mother with a missing child was very difficult for a male author like me. I think that was really difficult. The fact that a mother looking for a child has a affair outside her marriage with the detective who's helping her, so there's infidelity happening. At the same time, there's a very good, like a morally good search for the child happening. At the same time, there's an immoral affair happening. I think that is very difficult to write in a story format, and to pull it off such that people still like your characters Keshav and Alia till the end. They don't see them as morally corrupt or villains or things like that, and they don't. They are both, people feel bad for them, people cry for them in the end, and at the same time they are doing something which society views sometimes as morally wrong. So I think writing a story like that at a mass level, because where so many people read a Chetan Bhagat book, and to pull this off, I think that was the most challenging part. Alia is a mother who is in search of a child, and at the same time she has another daughter she has to be a mother for, and not so in that sense she cannot fully fall apart. She is extremely distressed by her daughter Sia's disappearance. Everyone around her has given up, even the police have given up, even her own family has given up, because it's been 9 months and everybody said it's a cold case, she's never going to be found, but she doesn't give up. She's broken inside, but she has to appear normal so that she can continue the search and doesn't completely fall apart, and also be normal for her daughter. She also is missing something in her life, in her marriage, and that also plays up when she meets Keshav, as who's the only guy in the world who's helping her right now. So I think it is. I learned that it's tough to be a mother, really. I mean, when I wrote that character, I got feedback saying, but how can a mother who's got a missing child go to the gym, or how can she be wearing proper clothes and combing her hair, which I found quite interesting, because that just shows how our society is. We want our mothers to be a certain way, to express sorrow a certain way, to fight a certain way. To me, Alia is the ultimate mother, because she's the only one who doesn't give up on fighting her daughter. So I think there was a lot to learn as a man, as what it takes to be a mother and what are the expectations from a mother. There has been a lot of feedback, of course, that comes around. I think one of the ones that really come to mind is people saying that they like mothers who have written to me and said that they were literally shivering throughout the book, because the way they connected with the book was, obviously they were imagining, what if, God forbid, their own child goes missing. And then again, I don't want to reveal spoilers, but at certain moments how they could just not stop crying, or for weeks they've not been able to kind of get over the book. I think those are some of the memorable feedbacks. The book's been only out a few months, but more and more such feedback will be coming. But I think it really has, particularly on mothers with young children, the book has a very, very deep impact. The message of the book is about, are our children safe? We don't let our children talk to a stranger in the park or from the balcony, but do we know who's talking to our child on the phone? And nowadays all children have phones, especially because of Zoom classes and things like that, so you don't need it. But who's talking? And on these so-called harmless apps like Instagram, Facebook, I mean, there are controls which prevent children from visiting certain sites. But what about Instagram? Who's DMing your child there? And I think that to me was fascinating, that we have such an open hole in terms of child security. And I researched a lot on real cases, on what kind of people are there on the internet, what kind of conversations happen with children. Sometimes they'll send them gifts. Again, the online economy has really made it easy to connect with anyone, so that in the hands of the wrong person, they can connect to children, they can send them gifts, they can send them money, they can ask children for certain things which are inappropriate. So I think those kind of things it really shakes you up to see how vulnerable everything is, and doing research for that was eye-opening for me as well. And I think that's what 400 Days brings out. And honestly, the solution to this is not more technology. The solution is very good open communication in the family, so that the child is free and open enough to share their feelings with their family members and not feel judged, because otherwise they are more vulnerable to express them to strangers who could take advantage of that.